Honorable Commissioner, how do you um, enforce the regulations without causing so much pain? You know that the Maitrep market is a market where perishable uh, uh, goods are sold,
Product.
perishable products, agri-produce and the rest. During the last shutdown, many people, many trucks came into town expecting to offload farm produce and then leave immediately. A lot of those of the farm produce that they brought perished because you have to. They are not things that you can store for a long time. This naturally inflicts pain on people who have nothing to do with what's going on in Lagos. I mean, I engage a contractor, bring tomatoes from Kano for me, and then he gets here, he can't even, because the market is short, he can't even deliver what he was obligated to bring to Lagos. How do we do this, carry out this enforcement within as short time as possible without causing collateral damage, if I can use describe it as such?
Thank you very much, BKO. Um, there are times in the course of enforcement, like I say in Yoruba, nígbà mi tẹ́lẹ̀ṣẹ̀ bá ń jìyà, olódodo náà máa ń jẹ díẹ̀ ńbẹ̀ nígbà mi. It's just unfortunate. And that was why I mentioned my throat that within 48 hours, they worked around the clock. I mean, around the clock, 24 hours of it. They cleaned up, did the undertaking, and they had to be opened. Because we were also very alert to the fact that these are perishable goods. But in all this, it's about the people taking ownership. You were served a notice, and you had time to clean up. You had at least 48 hours. Look, the notice says, abate this nuisance within 48 hours. That's standard requirement. And you choose to say to yourself, they can't do anything. Don't worry. That is where we need to also change our orientation. Why must we be forced? Why must we be forced to do the right things? Why must we as a people believe that everything that we ought to do, they must force our hands to do them? It doesn't speak well of us. It doesn't. That of my 12 is quite unfortunate, and that was why I was glad that they were able to turn around things within 48 hours. And we didn't waste time to do that, to open them up. But let me also ask this question. If my 12, yes, for economic reasons, we fail to do the right thing, today, the dog whistling people or the dog whistlers will have called us out to say to us, but you are never gone to my 12 to shut them down because they are your supporters of your party. It's not beyond them.
Let's talk
So
about
in enforcement,
let's talk quickly about Lagos state government officials. There are people who say that
Very important.
um, officials in the Lands Bureau and other agencies of government that ought to ensure that some of these illegalities don't take place actually collude with developers, collude with land grabbers to infringe on the law. How do we deal with a situation like this? I remember Governor Bola Ahmed Tinubu back then as governor told me that skyscrapers were built on drainage channels. Yet, he knew it would be expensive to remove those skyscrapers. But they had approval. They got approval from the right source to build where they build. Why do we have this problem in Lagos? That officials who should enforce the law are just as reckless as illegal developers and the rest of them. Why do they continue to do these things?
BKO is just human greed. It's human greed. And I've said it to them. If anybody gives you an approval that is not sustainable or tenable, please, and we have come against you to enforce the law, do a petition to the governor, and the governor will push to the HOS and the Civil Service Commission to use that person as a scapegoat. Let me give you this teaser. Are you not asking questions that if actually they had approval at the Ikota, building on that canal part, they would have brought them forward by now? Fiscal planning went there. The commissioner, this new commissioner went there with SA, serve them notices that, okay, you know what? Let us even leave the canal. Bring your approvals. None has stepped forward to bring the approval. I was at ESCO on Monday when the commissioner mentioned it. So yes, we have our own internal issues, and the government needs to look inwards. I'm glad the HOS is doing that, the Civil Service Commission is doing that, the PMB is active and working, but people should bring the petitions forward. But most importantly, whatever is wrong is wrong. Whatever is illegal is illegal. It can't change to be legal. Illegality cannot vest you legality. That's my own way of looking at it. And if anybody is culpable within my own circle, as a government, as an example, our people, with due respect, are very brazen in doing the wrong things. Nightclubs in Lekki will be blaring music. 11, 12, 1, 2, 3 a.m. And you tell them, turn it down to do your business. And they will say no. You seal. One or two of them removed the seal. Now, we took them to court and they were convicted. How would people wake up in the morning, decide to go and throw your garbage into the drainage? Yesterday was Tuesday. 26 of them were convicted by the environmental mobile court. 26 they were convicted. And I've said to them, every day we charge people arrested to court. Let the law take its course. So we are not just looking at the enforcement, we're also prosecuting them. We are prosecuting those involved. And if they are civil servants or public servants, kindly do the right thing. Do a petition to the governor. Let him forward it to the HOS and the Civil Service Commission.
So, Honorable Commissioner,
and you come and lead evidence.
Honorable Commissioner, in line with, sorry to butt in line with this same question by BKO, can you tell us the difference between the building plans and drainage plans? And who do we actually blame, when we have this issue before developing our property? Who do we blame, and what do we do about them?
Now, basically, the fiscal planning people give you building plan approval. However, the Ministry of Environment, the Office of Drainage Services will give you a permit for drainage permit. They call it drainage permit. That permit actually will have taken cognizance of the whole layout. Look at the setback to the canal or the secondary collector from your drawing, from your fence. Once you are in order, they will issue the certificate. But most people deliberately, yesterday we met with residents from Ikoyi. For your information, the State House is perpetually flooded. So for the past 3 weeks, we've been on it. And we found out the barracks behind, Dodan Barracks, they had built to block the water path. And that canal ought to have taken the water through Dodan Barracks, Norman William, Awolowo Road to the lagoon, to 5 Kauri River. Unfortunately, it's been blocked. So we served all of them notices, including the soldiers. And they were the first to comply.
Okay.
The generals, we are evacuating the barracks now, and we shall do demolition there. Now, those that are outside the barracks, Norman Williams corridor, they came for a meeting. We showed them the drone shot, and they all agreed. All we said to them was, I must have my setback to evacuate this canal. This place is flooding. And they agreed. I just want 2 meters. I won't even do 3 meters. It's fully built up. I'll do 2 meters. So I can evacuate the canal. It's about interministerial collaboration. If you have your building plan, you should ensure you go to Ministry of Environment. The office is there. Show them your plan. They will give you the requisite drainage permit. That covers you. And we also hope you won't go and extend your wall into the permits given to you, the space given to you. So let us talk to our people.
Okay, okay, Commissioner. Let's move a little bit faster because we are running out of time.
I'm joining them now.
So, like the ministry now, your ministry, what is your ministry doing about land reclamation, expansion in Lagos? Because people are really talking about that. So, what is your ministry doing about that?
My colleague in EXCO and my brother, MHR, Mr. Dayo Bush, is the one in charge of waterfront. Where we come in is when you want to go and touch on the wetland. Wetland, you can't build on wetland, you can't reclaim on wetland. So that is our own area. We push back and say, no approval for this. But if it's reclamation, then my colleague in ESCO, Honorable Dayo Alebioshu, MHR, is the one directly in charge of that. And I can't speak so much into it or about it.
Now let's talk about.
But I also it's been enforcing in the past few weeks. It's been shutting down a lot of illegal training people and stuff, illegal dredging companies and activities across the state.
All right, Honorable Commissioner, let's talk about flooding. What is the situation with Lagos now?
No, fine. I was at the Sherry Knot today. I was there with the SA on Environment and the 2 permanent secretaries. What we saw was not good enough. However, we have said to ourselves, this cannot be done by Lagos State. We have to collaborate with Ogun State fully and then get the federal government involved. And I'm glad when I heard afterwards that the Ogun State governor was there with the Minister for Environment to look at the level of damage. And I believe when it's time to have the conversation, my governor will be on the table. Because people actually built on lowland. You can't build on lowland. You can't.